Twitch, and Instagram. We are live right now. So stay tuned. This is going to be an awesome episode. If you like it, share it around. And also, if you are just tuning in on these platforms, we do have it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, a bunch of other platforms for you to actually listen on audio so that you could just wash your dishes and listen to the show, or do laundry and listen to the show. It's awesome. I do it all the time. I don't spend a waking minute almost without some sort of something in my ear. So it's nice. Good. Anyways, I'm going to press record on this episode. Tell yourself the truth in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers, gamers and claimers, ladies and gentlemen from around the universe, from around the globe, from around the community, wherever you are, whether you're listening to this in your car or at home, or listening to this live on Instagram or any of the social media platforms, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, speaker, author, life coach, trainer, friend to you, wanting so badly, starving, thirsting for more in this world so I can give you the best of what I've learned in the past 15, 20 years, being in this industry of self-help, being in this industry of spiritual enhancement, and being in this industry of becoming the best version of yourself. This is a show where we help you, guide you to claiming your power, clarifying your purpose, and cultivating your deepest, widest, and highest passions possible so you can ultimately show up as a better version of yourself, upgraded version of yourself, and ultimately inspire others to be a better, best, and most fulfilled and happy, wisest, loving version of themselves so we can create a better world. Because better individuals will create a better world, and better world will create better individuals. And that is exactly why I do this podcast. This is exactly why I do what I do for a living, and to inspire, to be a source of inspiration, and to connect with people around the world like you on Instagram, like you on Facebook, like you on Spotify, wherever you are. Thank you. I love you. And I'm so grateful that you're listening and tuning in wherever you are. So thank you. This is a great show that we're going to talk about. And part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this, about telling yourself the truth, is because a lot of times what we do is we show up with a problem that's just a surface problem, and we try to fix the surface problem. But it might, and I remember hearing a quote that says, the source, the cause of your problems isn't the source of your problems. The cause of your problems isn't the source of your problems. So we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about really nailing this down, getting to the center of a lot of your challenges, your personal challenges, professional challenges, and getting real and raw, and looking yourself in the mirror and taking a great inventory about where you find yourself in your life, whether you're happy or not. Tell yourself the truth. If you're unhappy, tell yourself that you're unhappy. If you're not in good shape, don't tell yourself, I'm not that bad. Don't rationalize, or, do not do that. Tell yourself the truth about where you are in specific areas of your life. In your money situation, don't tell yourself I'm doing okay when you're really in $40,000, $50,000 debt and credit card debt. Don't say that you're okay. Tell yourself the truth. If you don't tell yourself the truth, then you're going to continue lying to yourself and living a lie, and that lie is going to be reflected in everything that you think, feel, and behave and experience in life. So that is this show, dedicated to this show today. Cameron from Chatham, my power partner, my brother in arms. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much. I know I say this a lot, bro. Thank you so much for doing the technical sides of this, man, because I don't know much about the technological and computer stuff. So, man, you're awesome, man. Danish and Farah and all these people that are joining in on this quest to make the world better and partnering with us. Such an amazing privilege. So, thank you, Cam. What's up, man?
I really appreciate that. Honestly, thank you, because I do have my own channel. I have my own podcast, but I have to come up with ideas. And here it's like you have so much inside of you ready to just explode that I just show up and I help do the technical side, and I talk a little bit, and then all of a sudden information is out there and we're helping people. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm a part of this and why I love it. And I really do believe in everything you have to say. I think the world isn't ready for Anthony Cheam. Cheam's gonna really make some big moves, man. So that's that. I honestly do believe in that. So on the topic of tell the truth to yourself, I know you have probably a lot to say. I just wanted to know if you could touch on later on the balance, like maybe after you've said everything, the balance between telling the truth to yourself, so sitting with it and knowing okay, this is what my problem is. I'm not gonna affirmation like I'm totally fine, I'm fine. And then the other side of the spectrum where you actually do take control of your thoughts and you decide once and for all that, okay, I'm not going to feel this way. I'm going to decide that I am this and I want to feel this and and I'm just not going to think about all that stuff anymore. Because I know there's a balance. Because I know, I was listening to a Wayne Dyer podcast. We're both huge Wayne Dyer fans, and
Yes,
somebody
huge.
called in and they were like, "Yeah, I have this issue, but I don't think I'm being honest with myself. I think maybe I need to sit with it and really get to know it." And Wayne Dyer was like, "Dude, you just stop thinking about it. Just change your thoughts. Like, it's really that simple." So I want to know your take on that balance between being honest with yourself and then just simply changing your thoughts and taking control.
Oh, yes.
But obviously, you probably have a lot more to say at the beginning, so go to town.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is in my first book, The ABCs of Life, Living a Life of Power, Purpose, and Passion, I do disclose something very revealing that was taught to me a long time ago about part of the reason why people don't change is because they don't make a better choice. The problem is that they don't know the choices that are available to them. And that's the first part. The second part is problems aren't really the problem. It's the lack of awareness that are the problem. And there's a great story, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here because I don't know the exact story, but you'll get the gist of it. There's a man or a woman walking up this mountain with a heavy backpack with this thing on his head, and he's got these weeds or these like ropes tied to his legs, and he's struggling to walk up the mountain. And as he's walking up, or she's walking up, this person comes over and says, "Hey, you'd have a much easier time walking up this mountain if you just took that heavy bag off your head." And the guy was like, "Oh, I didn't even know it was there. Thank you." Grabbed it, put it on the side. He was actually going up faster up the mountain. And you felt, hey, this is great. A few miles later, this other guy goes, "Hey, that heavy backpack, you'd go up the mountain much faster if you took that 50-pound heavy backpack off your back." He went, "Wow, I didn't even know I had a heavy backpack." Put it down. And then he's walking up. This little girl comes up to him and says, "You know what? You'd walk a lot faster with a greater stride if you just cut those ropes that are keeping you from taking bigger strides and running up the mountain." And he went, "Oh my gosh, thank you for doing that." And he cut it and he was free. And the whole point of the story is it's not problems that are the issue. It's the lack of awareness of problems. There's been so many times where I'd be coaching someone, talking to somebody, random people too, off the street or just in random parties or whatever it might be in the community. And they tell me about some of their issues and they'd go, "Oh, I'm completely healthy. I know I'm healthy." And they're 60 pounds overweight. They're smoking. "Oh, I don't have a heart attack. I go to the doctor. I get a physical every year, and I smoke and I'm overweight, but I'm doing fine." They're not doing fine, and they're in debt, or they're tired all the time. They have chronic fatigue, or they have anxiety, or they have all these physical symptoms of disease, and they're a walking time bomb. And so it's not the problem that they're unhealthy; it's the lack of awareness that their behaviors are conducive to an unhealthy lifestyle. Yet they believe that it's okay. So the reality is, telling yourself the truth oftentimes takes professional help. Someone, a friend that you trust and respect, that you're okay with them telling you the truth and saying, "No, I'm a little concerned for your health. I'm a little concerned for your relationship. I'm a little concerned with your drug addiction. I'm a little concerned with your, whatever, your lack of, or your money situation because you haven't worked in 2 years," or whatever it might be. Someone calling them out, but not from a place of judgment, but really from a place of love and concern and care. And oftentimes that's why mentorship and coaching, we promote that on this show. I promote that. Cam promotes this. I promote mentorship. I have my own mentors, my own version of mentors in business or spirituality or therapy, whatever it might be. I have a multitude of people that I go to for mentorship and coaching and guidance. I don't know it all, but I do need to sit down and kind of, because you can't see the picture when you're in the picture frame. You can't smell your own bad breath when you do have the bad breath until someone points it out to you. And that's exactly my point. When you're in the problem, it's hard to see the problem. Right? When you are the actual problem itself, it's hard to actually pinpoint where the problems occur. Great example of this a basic example of this is if you have a headache, and you're like, "Oh, I got this headache." What's the first thing we're taught? Take a pain pill, Tylenol, Advil, whatever it might be. And it might fix the pain that you're feeling. But the source of the pain is not the pain itself. There's something causing the pain. So again, the cause of your pain isn't the source of your pain. The cause of your suffering isn't the source of your suffering. So you might take the Advil and the pain goes away, but you could be dehydrated or something, or you could be hungry, or you could be just completely exhausted or overworked or overstressed, or there could be symptomatic of something greater, something going on, but you just choose to take a pain pill. Another great illustration of this. Imagine you were and this, I remember hearing this or reading this in a Tony Robbins book, and he talked about how, imagine you're a doctor and you're sitting on the beach and you see people drowning. And you're like, oh my gosh. And you run out, you swim out to save the two people. You come back because you're a doctor. You want to save people, and you save them, and you bring them back to shore. And then you say, wait a second, I hear more people drowning, and there's 4 people. And then you swim out there and you save the 4 people. You do the same thing, save them, you feel good about it. And then there's 8 people, and then 12 people, and then 14. And it just keeps getting worse. Like, what's happening? If the doctor were to just walk a mile down the beach and see that there's 4 people throwing people in the actual ocean or the lake, he would nip that problem in the bud. But he was going at the actual cause of the problem, not the source of the problem. Another example of this is imagine there was a garbage strike on in our city, and rats started to accumulate, and because of the garbage, right? Now, I could easily go outside, put rat poison out there, and kill the actual rats and mice and the vermin out there that are, right? Or I could just sit there and go, ew, look at all the trash those rats and raccoons and mice brought. No. Now, I could kill all of them, but unless you deal with the actual problem itself, the source of the problem, the garbage, and clean it up, it's not going to deal with the rats are going to come bring their friends, their family. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So getting to the source of your issues often takes professional help, a friend, someone that cares about you, someone that you admire, respect, a mentor, whatever it might be. So telling yourself the truth about your health, telling yourself the truth about your life, telling yourself the truth about your relationships, telling yourself the truth about your money situation, whatever it might be, it often takes a good inventory about where you are in your life and being brutally, brutally honest and saying, where am I now? We might do a financial balance sheet once in a while and go, here's my financial issues, or here's my health on a scale of 0 to 10. Where am I in my physical health and well-being? 10 being ultimate vitality, ultimate flexibility, ultimate functionality, ultimate energy. 0 being it's hard to get out of bed because I'm 100 pounds overweight. And looking at yourself in the mirror and just saying, I don't like this, and taking off your clothes and going, I don't like the person I'm looking at. And being totally truthful. And again, this can also be a bad thing for people, because then that guilt could follow that. But no, what you're there to do is to tell yourself the truth. I don't like this. And from that disturbance in your psyche saying, this is unacceptable, something's got to change. And so you got to be able to break that pattern. You be able to tell yourself the truth and go, because if you don't tell yourself the truth, there's no impetus or real reason to actually make a change and a transformation. So if you don't like where you are in your relationships, tell yourself the truth, and then be the one that makes the difference. Be the one that actually steps up to make the change. Rather than wait for change, be the change. Rather than wait for others to do something, be the leader that shows up. Rather than look for inspiration, be the source of inspiration. Rather than look for love, be the source of love. Be the one who steps up and leads people to the promised land, if you want to call it. So the idea for this particular podcast and this particular show is actually to tell yourself the truth, to start you on the road to, as they say, the truth shall set you free. The truth is the first part to setting you free. The next part is actually looking at those issues and then going to work to make them better, and putting a plan together, getting mentorship, getting coaching. That's why in this world right now, hiring a personal trainer for your fitness, or hiring a life coach, or hiring a psychotherapist, or hiring a psychiatrist, or hiring someone a business coach, or whatever, spiritual director, whatever it is, because they can help you accelerate your growth. They can help you accelerate your ability to look at your problems and go and give you deliberate strategies to actually climb yourself out of your problems, identify the problems, and then go to work on solutions to working through those problems, fixing them, transforming them, and then finally transcending them to the next level, upgrading your life and illuminating your life at levels that you never thought were possible, only because you were seeing them from a different mindset or a different level of development. So I certainly feel that and experience that in my own life, that I listened to audios I listened to 10 years ago, and it was profound 10 years ago. But when I re-listen to them now, I go, wow, I extract different wisdom and different insights and nuggets than I did, because now I'm a lot wiser. I require different lessons. And I feel like I'm more inclined to accept certain things. So I wasn't able to hear certain things coming from those audios or seminars. Now I'm prepared, I'm wiser, I'm smarter, I'm stronger. I have more experience, and I'm more willing to learn these things at greater depth and greater wonder and openness. So the whole point of this is that in order for change or transformation or upgrades to happen in your life, you got to start by telling yourself the truth about where you are. So do a life balance sheet or life inventory, saying, all right, in my physical health, where am I? Am I really satisfied with where I am? And scale it 0 to 10. Where am I? If I'm at a 3, okay, why am I at a 3? And tell yourself the truth. Well, I got no energy. I'm not exercising. I'm not eating the healthiest foods. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm working too much. And then you go to work. Okay, if I'm at level 3, what can I do to get to level 4 in my energy and my vitality? Whatever you got to do. And then go to work on a plan. Show it to somebody, a professional friend, get a workout buddy, whatever it is. And this is just the area of health and fitness. You can do this with money. You can do this with spiritual growth. You can do this with relationships. You can do this with business. You can do this with virtually anything, but tell yourself the truth. Discover what makes you tick. Discover what's most important to you. Discover what your priorities are. Discover what you value most based on your current level of development, your current life stage. And then, because how often do we do this? We're not told to actually take inventory of our life based on our life stage. I do this probably twice a year. I look at my life and where I am, and I just take a full examination, tell myself the truth. And whether it's good or bad, I tell myself the truth. And then I talk to other people about it, mentors, coaches, and they'll say, okay, based on where you are, and we go to work on a plan. Everyone waits till January. Of course, that being, next month or so, people wait till New Year's resolutions. No, now here's resolution. Rather than New Year's resolution, now's here resolution. Now, there's no better way than now. Now's here resolution. Don't wait for January 1st, 2019. Now is here. Now's your resolution. Let's make that resolution together. I'm hoping I'm inspiring you. I'm driving you. I'm creating some pain, but also possibility. Okay. So I think I said a lot here. Cam, what do you think about what I said? Hopefully it clarified a few things, and you can add your insight as well.
You got it. You did it all. Honestly, no,
Okay.
it's great. Also, I forgot that we usually say this on Fridays, but thank God I'm free.
Yeah, TGIF. Thank God.
TGIF. Yeah. No, you said it all, man. You really did. I think it is a matter of first creating that feeling of I don't want to be here anymore. Because if you just keep pushing it aside, like you said, it will come back to haunt you. So that first initial, basically put it all on the table. You don't have to spend a lot of time there. It's not really about spending a very vast amount of your hours just looking at all your stuff and not liking it and being upset and blah, blah, blah. It's more or less just get all the information on the table and then make a decision. I remember in Think and Grow Rich, Andrew Carnegie, when he asked Napoleon Hill, hey, I want you to do a study on all the most successful people and write up a step-by-step guide to how to accumulate riches. He had a pocket watch under his desk, and it was 60 seconds or something, and it took him like 50 something seconds just to make that decision. And if it would have been any longer than 60, Andrew Carnegie would have been like, nah, I'll get the next guy, because you can't make up your mind. And so once and basically the quote was once all information is laid up on the table and a person can't make up their mind, then they're indecisive, they're unreliable, and all that stuff So once you first tell yourself the truth, know the truth fully, then make a decision, do something about it. Because otherwise, it's really, you're just kind of wallowing at this point, which understandable, I get it, but it's not fun. Definitely not fun.
No, it's not.
So
it takes courage. It does take courage to actually sit down and go, I actually really hate where I am right now in my relationship. Anytime I do relationship coaching, it oftentimes takes each person saying, I am drifting from my partner. don't like my partner. I'm not in love with my partner. I'm disgusted by the sight of my partner. And that usually hurts the other person, but it's good. You got to get it out, your feelings in those moments. You have to tell yourself, if you tell yourself, oh, everything's great and everything's fine, we're having great this and great that, but the other person's like, what are you talking about? What relationship are you in? Let's be real here. And when it comes to my own relationship, my own personal relationship, my wife calls me out. Oh my gosh, she calls me out. And thank God she does. Just recently, I had a situation, no joke, just recently, in the past few weeks, my wife, we got in this kind of little bit of a tiff, and she literally called me out and said, I wonder what your clients would think of you. This is what she said to me. And my initial reaction was, you be, right? I don't want to say it on line here, but then there was that space between stimulus and response where I was like, wait a second here, you can take this personally and just completely just eradicate her right there. Or I could just say, wait a second here. She loves me. She's not calling me out because she hates me. She's calling me out because she's trying to correct me. She's this is lower than my standard, that I'm higher, better than this, that I have stronger character and integrity and based on the situation. And then she just followed up with, you tell your clients this, and that, and yet you're not living it. In this moment, you're just not living it. And she literally looked at me with like, not angry eyes, but caring eyes. And I remember just had a moment with that space where I just like sat there or stood there looking out the window going, and I took a deep breath. I paused. I corrected my situation, changed my state, made a decision, just like you said there, Cam. And I made it right. And after I made the decision to make it right, I remember going up to my wife. I looked at her in the eyes, grabbed her face and said, man, you're so right. And I gave her this big hug and kiss. I'm like, man, thank God I have you. And it was just like this moment. And it was just an amazing moment. Now that takes courage. That takes swallowing of your pride to do that. Now that's someone else calling you on your stuff. Now you calling yourself on that stuff is a little bit tricky because you have your inner ego and your inner cynic kind of guiding you at certain times. So it's oftentimes it requires someone else calling you out on your stuff. And, clean up your act. This is out of character. This is totally out of your character. And that's not from a place of hate. That's from a place of love and caring, deep caring for you. If I give Cam and a lot of my friends full permission to call me out on something if they feel like that it's out of character. If I made a decision or I was acted out of sorts that's not congruent in line with who they believe I am, I give them full. And likewise, I know that they give me full permission to do the same. That's real friendship. If you've got a friend or a family member that really cares for you, and you're doing drugs and you're just destroying your life, and they're saying, yeah, I love them for who they are unconditionally. No, a true friend and a family member will call you out and say, I'm really concerned about you. We got to do something. You're going to die, or you're going down a path that I know that this is not right for you. You need people around you to tell you the truth. You need to tell yourself the truth. So if you want to grow, it takes that initial telling yourself the truth about where you are in your life, and then go to work on making those changes. And let me tell you something. About this particular podcast. As I said, I do this probably twice a year on myself. I write things down. Where was I a year ago? What have I learned? Where do I need to work on? All these things. It's good to do these things. We upgrade our phones. We get a new phone every year, a new computer every year. We get new clothes every year, but do we actually get new mind software, heart software, body software, new information? We don't oftentimes upgrade ourselves. So we need to upgrade ourselves. And there's no better way to do that than self-examination and then presenting what we've examined in ourselves and then going to work to share it with other people. And so anything else to add there, Cam? I cut you off. My apologies if I did.
That's okay. No, you said it all. Would you be able to recap it in like one sentence and then we'll wrap it up?
Know thyself, 3 steps. Examine thyself, be brutally honest, and then, as you said, Cam, make a decision to make it better. Pick an area of your life and just make it better. Just make a decision within 60 seconds. That's great. And if you screw up, who cares? At least you made a decision. Making no decision is the worst decision. It's still a decision. So examine, go to work, tell yourself the truth, number 2, and then make a decision. Examine, go to brutally honest, go to work, make a decision. So to your continued upgrade and evolution, guys, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. If you love this podcast, if you enjoy it, share it, comment, ask questions. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to give you the best of what I know. And I'm here to just pour it out to you, an outpouring of love to you and your dreams and your endeavors. So wherever you are, find yourself in your life, tell yourself the truth, and maybe perhaps share your truth with me on one of the next podcasts. And I'd be more than happy to read it and then maybe share my insights on the next podcast or one of the podcasts coming up. So thank you guys for joining us. God bless you. And we thank you for joining us. Have an awesome day, guys. TGIF. Thank God I'm free. Thank God you're free. Take care, guys.